With great love and great respect, I welcome all of you. Today is Valentine's Day, and I have a special Valentine message for you, for all of you, especially the rest. I want us to pay attention to it, greatly to my speech today, because it's all about freedom. It's all about what is freedom, and are we really free? And this a few weeks ago, this thought occurred to me that is there anything as no work? What would happen if there was no work? What if I say I want to be free from all work? Am I really going to be free? So today, the thought came to me as I spoke to someone about freedom. And what really is freedom, which we call moksha in Hinduism. Now, what is Valentine Day? What is Valentine Day about?
Saint Valentine.
Huh?
Saint Valentine.
It's always covered with the heart and the red color, because the red color represents the blood flowing through the heart. But what Valentine really is about is the day where you're supposed to put aside all things and spend time on love. In other words, it's one of the free days for love. When you're supposed to put aside everything and think of love only and pray for love. But we have that in Hinduism. Right? Shivratri is also the day. Notice falls right around Shivratri. When you pray for love also. When you pray to the Shivling, and you pray that your husband will never die and your wife will never die, that you will live to an old age all together and so on. That's what you pray for in the Shivling. That's what Parvati was praying to Shiva for when she built the Shivling. She built the Shivling. Parvati was the one who built the Shivling in the beginning of time when Shiva did not want to marry her. And to go over quickly, just so I can get on to the subject, what we did on Friday night was, we talked about that, where the Shivling was built by Parvati because of Narad Muni, who came across and said to her, well, if Shiva doesn't want you, because Shiva did not want to get married, if you remember the story, Cupid, which is known as Kamdevata, had to go and shoot an arrow sent by Brahma. He sent the Cupid, the guy with the arrow, to shoot it at the third eye so that Shiva can have feeling to get married. Because Shiva was above everything, he does not want a female. Shiva was single. So he didn't want a female, so Brahma and Vishnu, who had female, said, okay, Shiva should have a female too. And so that's why they sent Cupid. And when Cupid shoot the arrow, the third eye opened and burned Cupid to ashes. Cupid is known as Kamdevata. So he was burnt to ashes because Shiva is above lust. Shiva doesn't have any lustful feeling or any kind of connection with female. So therefore, Kam is the one who develops love in somebody. He shoots the arrow in your heart. So when you see that guy, or you see a person, you're supposed to feel the arrow in your heart. That's why they draw the heart with the arrow and so on. So that's all because of Shiva, Valentine came, and so on. So again, it's all about love. So when you don't have love in your life, then Valentine Day or Shivratri Day was put aside to for love only, just to get love. So it says any woman who prays for her husband on Shivratri night gets a husband. If your husband is away, any woman who prays for that, the husband can come back, and the husband comes back. And Shivratri also talks about those whose husbands died. In other words, what is the greatest suffering in the world? Is to be a widower when your husband has died, or a widow, which is a widower is a man, widow is a woman. So when you don't have that person, Then the song Pinjare Ke Panchi comes in. I'm a bird in a cage. Right? You know that song? Right, there we go. You should. I'm a bird in a cage. I can only talk to the walls. I have no one to talk to. Pinjare ke panjire, tera dard n jaane ko, tera dard n jaane ko, pinjare ke panjire. Remember that song? It means I have lost my love. I don't have my love, and I'm in a cage. I'm in a wall. I can only see four walls, like a bird in a cage. And I can only talk to those walls. So that's the song. That song when you have lost your love. So again, it's all connected with love and Valentine and everything. And so you're hoping that by giving out hearts, and you know in the old days, as soon as the girl finds a boy, or the boy finds a girl, and let's say the girl brings a boy at the house to meet the parents, or vice versa, they prepare sweets, and they give out sweets. So the guy has to buy some sweet, or the girl has to buy some sweets from the intended mother-in-law and so on. So the whole idea now is why? Because the same thing, Valentine, maybe it wasn't shaped in a heart then, it was square. But it's still the same thing, the sweet, to show that you want a sweet life. So all that indicates the power of love. So freedom from love is what you do on Valentine's Day. You take all the things off your head and you concentrate on love that day. Right? So sometimes a woman will come to see me and she'll say, I don't like my husband arguing with me all the time. Right? He wants me to stay home, he wants me to cook, he wants me to take care of the house, he wants me to clean. But I want some freedom. Right? And then I say, well, what kind of freedom do you want? Well, I want freedom to do what? And then she's stuck. She can't answer the question because all the time she's thinking, I want my freedom, I want my freedom, I want my freedom. But when the time comes and says, okay, what is freedom do you want? She's stuck. What does she want? That means that she doesn't want to do any housework anymore? Does that mean she doesn't want to do cooking anymore? Does that mean that she doesn't want to take care of her husband anymore? Does it mean that she wants to... What freedom does she want? There can only be two freedom I can think about. Freedom to have another man, maybe, have an affair. Or freedom to find someone who can make sure she gets everything she wants without having to work for it. I think that's the freedom she's seeking there. Or freedom from what? Freedom from having somebody come and behind you and quarrel with you all the time, or tell you, ordering you to do this and to do that and everything. So it puzzles me sometimes, what kind of freedom really does the person want? So it's a very big word used, but not really understood. In other words, the kid says, I want freedom. What does the kid want? That means he doesn't want to go to school? That means do they want to party all night? Who's going to pay for it? Is that person really getting freedom? What kind of freedom does the kid says, I don't want my father or my mother to look at my grades and see if I'm doing good? Is that a freedom they want? What is freedom they want? What is the freedom they want?